Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of March. I hope you will. March, really, goodness. If the reading resonates, there will be an extended, which you can access at the end. The link will be down in the description box. Do I have anything else to tell you? I do not believe so. Let's get on with this, Leo. Let's have 3 cards for Leo, please. Here's the first one. We have the Empress in your recent past. It's a card of Taurus, possibly Libra. In the Major Arcana, current energy for Leo, please. Thank you. We have the 7 of Pentacles. Yep. And what's coming towards Leo in March, please? Thank you. We have the Emperor. Interesting. We have the Emperor and the Empress appearing here. I knew this was coming out. This was at the bottom of the deck when I was shuffling before I started the reading, and it really stood out to me, and I was like, okay. And then I shuffled and I shuffled and I shuffled and I shuffled it in front of you as well, and here it is back at the bottom of the deck. So there it is. We've got the Hierophant sat behind it, which is interesting. Ooh, and the Death card behind that. Now, there's a couple of Major Arcana cards underneath the Ace of Pentacles here. Now, the Ace of Pentacles it's a new start in some ways. We can see it often to do with new jobs, new houses, new things, right? But if you look at it from an energetic currency perspective, which is what I do, right? I see the Pentacles as energetic currency. It is an opportunity to take your pentacle, your time, your care, your effort, your love, like anything that you have that you can invest, even your money actually, and put it in a new direction, one that has the capacity to turn eventually into the 10 of Pentacles for you. And we've got the Hierophant and we've got Death here. Now, there are a couple of different ways of looking at this. The Hierophant and the Death card could well be an end of what is, frankly, a little rigid at the moment, right? The Hierophant card speaks to tradition, speaks to hierarchy. It speaks to things that have, always been and will continue to be by virtue of the fact that they have always been, right? The Death card is somewhat shaking that up. It's innovation in the face of tradition. This is everything that has been established, right? And this could well be the disruption, but this could also be the possibility of creating a new framework for you to exist within. And the Death card is that evolution that occurs of your circumstances when you commit to doing things differently. Hierophant is also the card of commitment, a card of commitment. So you could be committing to the changes that are trying to occur around you. See it in lots of different ways. It's likely that it will be a little more obvious which one of those is the right. Could be all of them actually, as the reading progresses, I'm sure. So let's have a look at this, because this is quite interesting. We've got the Empress card here, like I said, card of Taurus or Libra, depending on how you read. But we also have the Emperor here, and they are looking at each other. That's a card of Aries. And we've got these two looking at each other right here, by way of your current energy, which is the 7 of Pentacles. Now, I'm not going to say any more until I've got the clarifiers out. But tell me about the Empress, please. Where's the Empress here? We've got the Sun and we've got the 6 of Swords. Tell me about the 7 of Pentacles, please. Oh, we've got the 5 of Swords in reverse, and we also have the 2 of Pentacles. And tell me about the Emperor, please. Thank you. We have the 10 of Wands, and we have the Page of Wands. Oh, interesting. We've got the Devil card at the bottom of the deck, and I think that's intriguing, because the Devil indicates all of those things that make us feel stuck and trapped. And I know Leos have felt very stuck and very trapped for quite a long time now. But there's a shift here, quite a strong shift actually. And part of it is a shift in your mindset, for sure, and that's always a useful thing. And what we've got here is somebody who is looking, fucking hell, look at this. We've got somebody who is looking at the potential of the Magician and the Chariot and the 4 of Wands here, and turning away from the Devil, right? There's a change in the way that you're thinking about all of these things, and it's, in some ways, we could see this as, you know, this energy of being stuck and trapped that you've been in for such a long time, Leo. Now realizing that there is actually potential, there's huge potential in this situation if you wanted to take it. But you have to turn away from the fear of being stuck and trapped, which is something that is, you know, very present, I think, at the moment, and see just how much there is for you that is open, actually. I've got all the beautiful yellow on these cards here. Like, yellow is a colour of spiritual enlightenment, I believe. And the background of all of these cards are that, you know, so the Magician is a card of strong manifestation. The Chariot is about determination. It's about the self as well, but it's about really applying yourself to get what it is that you want. And what do you want? You want the Four of Wands, a new foundation. So let's pop these to one side for a second. A little stick, and we start with the Empress, which is a beautiful energy. It's an energy of great abundance. Like I said, it can be Taurus and it can be Libra, but I don't think that actually the signs are that important, certainly not here for this bit anyway. It's also the archetypal mother, and so we have all of the associations that we would make with a mother, right? It is providing, it is growing, it is nurturing, and all that sort of energy, right? That's where the abundance and the fertility comes in. But there is a sense of a shift, there's a sense of things changing around you, but also within you too, because we've got the Sun and we've got the Six of Swords here. Now, this is not implying that you are moving away from yourself here, because this is the Leo card, but rather that this is the energy that's going on. And so I do that on purpose. It's like bobbing along on the top of a wave is how it's feeling to me, right? You cannot control what is, you know, what is shifting the currents around. You know, that's not possible. The big universal energies that are working on Leo have been pretty fucking relentless, actually, for the last year. But what has changed in you, what has shifted in you in the course of this last year, is the fact that, is an understanding that it doesn't matter how unstable or too rigid things are. Like, if you can just kind of roll over the top of it, then ultimately it will lead you to a place of abundance in the future. You know, just kind of roll with the punches, allow to happen what is going to happen, and not to put too much onto anything, like not too much expectation, you know, and not too much clinging to what has gone before, because this whole reading is talking about a movement away from that. Remember that Death card with the Hierophant? It's a transformation. Tell me about this Sun and the Six of Swords, please. We've got two queens here. We've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Let's get one more. And we've got the Knight of Swords as well. The Magician is at the bottom of this deck too, which is interesting, because the Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. The Queen of Swords is Libra energy. But because the energies of the queens are very passive, they are associated with the internal space. Right? It's things being directed inwards rather than outwards, like we would see with the king. Oh, what do we have here? Look at that. Good Lord. We've got the Magician, we've got the Fool, and we've got the Chariot underneath there. There are a lot of major arcana energies at play for you at the moment. Just the thing is, you're not perceiving them. You know that things are changing, and maybe they're changing a little bit faster than you're comfortable with, but you're going with it, you're rolling along on the top. You don't see what is going on underneath here, which is fine. You don't need to see it at this point, because your focus needs to be on you. It's taking care of you, nurturing you, processing everything, and getting your mindset in the right place. There's a big message here about the importance of your thoughts at this point here. Now, if you've watched me for any amount of time, you know I'm absolutely appalled by the cult of positivity, right? And to some degree, the law of attraction as well, because sometimes you watch readers on YouTube and they're like, well, you just got to think hard enough about what it is that you want and make sure that you're really putting your whole heart into it and everything. And then you can literally just manifest whatever the fuck you want. Well, it's not quite as simple as that. And what I don't like about it is that if you are having a hard time, if you're not getting what you want, then it's your fault. It's because you're not doing something. Now, there's a grain of truth in that, slightly, in so much as your external world is an expression of your internal world. Right? We know that. That's a truism, right? But I think this notion of fault is something that I find quite vexatious, because it comes back to this idea of like, good things happen to good people, and bad people always get their comeuppance in the end. It's a very polarizing kind of view of what life is. And I think sometimes shit things happen to good people, but, sometimes good things happen to bad people. Things just happen. There's a kind of neutrality to the stuff that happens sometimes. And it's about the way that you face it. It's about the way that you choose to embrace every experience that comes towards you. And a huge part sometimes of that embracing of the new involves a releasing of things that we would rather have not released, So it's not about making sure that you're only thinking clean, positive thoughts about everything. No, more it's a case of kind of observing what it is that you're thinking, and then kind of exploring why you are feeling like that, why you are thinking like that. What is the loop that is repeating for you over and over again? Is it to do with your worthiness? Is it to do with, contemplation of whether you're a good person or a bad person, or that you're lazy, or you don't put enough work in, or maybe you work too hard and you're a bit of a, workaholic, whatever it is, right? It's about looking at the judgmental thoughts that you are having about yourself and then trying to work out why they are there. I feel like this is the more important message that's coming through, not about keeping everything light and fluffy bunnies and fucking unicorns and stuff like that, but more like, why do I do that? Why do I think like that? What is going on here for me? Because as my chaos magician friend says, observation is processing. And if you can process that and bring it into your conscious mind, it cannot affect you in the same way that it does when it's a purely subconscious reaction. This is very consciously taking care of yourself, consciously choosing to roll along the top of this rather than drowning underneath the ocean, just being like, fuck, everything's so awful. It's like, okay, things aren't great, things aren't wonderful, but I'm just going to keep bobbing along because there are things in my life to be grateful for. You see that here. But it's asking you to be mindful of the way that you speak to yourself, but mindful in so much as looking at it and seeing where it's come from. Now, when we come into your current energy, we have the Seven of Pentacles here. And whilst it's not a card that is great, nobody's going to say this is the best card in the tarot or even the Pentacle suit, or the Minor Arcana at all. I do kind of like this because it's a card of taking stock, right? When the Seven of Pentacles energy is present, you're in a situation that isn't ideal, like this, and it can be very, egregiously wrong, or it can be, some order of magnitude more subtle than that. It's like, what is established around me? Pentacles is, everything that you invest in, that you can invest in, time, care, money, effort, all that sort of stuff. It's not ideal. Something needs to change. And it's a card of looking at it and going, so what does need to change about my environment, right? And perhaps for some of you, it's about isolating these thought patterns, these repetitive loops. We've got the Five of Swords in reverse here. This is where we are absolutely at the mercy of those, internal verbal conflicts that we have with ourselves. We try and do a thing and then it doesn't quite work, and we go, oh, fucking, why are you surprised? These things never fucking work anyway, right? I like this because it's looking at whether it's time to cut your losses or whether it's time to put more in, right? And I think that there is this month for you, and certainly the energy that you're in at the moment, there's a bit of both. There are some things that require a bit more of your attention than you have given, and there are some things that frankly you need to just not be thinking about anymore at all. But the way that you identify which is being mindful of the thoughts that are popping up as you are dealing with all of these things. And I make it sound very easy. It's not. It's something that you have to train yourself into. It took me a while to train myself into it. Catching those emotional reactions that you have to things, and then looking at the thoughts that spring from that, and going, why is that there? Why are you there? What's that what's going on with that? And then processing, because this is what this feels like to me. It's processing. It is stabilizing those cognitive loops. It's saying, no, I'm going to stop talking shit to myself, right? I'm going to stop trying to find that even keel that helps me bob along the wave at the top. Now, let's see what the Triple Goddess has to say about this Five of Wands. Yeah. See, look at these two cards that come out here. We've got the Nine of Pentacles and we've got the Hierophant in reverse. And if there are two cards that could speak specifically to this metaphor I've been using about kind of bobbing along the top here, right? This is a card of Taurus. It's the Hierophant, right? And it talks about things that are, tradition, society, building things. We've already had it, right? I've already explained it to you. It's stability. When it's in the reverse, it is not. It is inherently unstable. But we've got here a card that speaks about self-sufficiency and independence. And there's kind of a stability implied by that too. I mean, it's the Nine of Pentacles. It's all earth energy. How do you maintain this in the face of this as it's happening around you, right? This is the important thing. And it might well be something that you are spending a bit of time in contemplation with now, right? It might be that there's the Six of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck there, right? Everything is kind of going a bit chaotic around you. And whether this is your distinct personal circumstances right now or the state of the fucking world, and the less said about that, the better. Where you're kind of like, I feel small in the face of all of these things that are happening at me. Like, how do you reclaim your power? How do you find your balance in the middle of it all? How do you practice this level of, it's not even stoicism, actually, because for some signs it would be stoicism. More, it's keeping the inherent Leo-ness of you. It's grace and dignity in the face of everything that's kind of going wrong, right? Because you might well tell a king by their finery, right? Their robe and their crown and all that sort of thing. Perhaps by the deferent way that people, deal with them. But to me, speaking energetically of royalty, kings, whatever it is, it's about bearing. It's about the way that we conduct ourselves. And for you, Leo, I think that it's important for you to remember who the fuck you are, and I just, like I said in a video that I did about my fucking wall, right, the circumstances that you are in right now do not define you. The way that you respond to them does. And I think that this is a huge message here for you. And so if you are in this Five of Swords where you're kind of being a bit down on yourself and you're really giving yourself a kick about it, like, remember, it doesn't define you. Everybody has difficult times. Everybody has good times. And, there's a lot about modern living and modern society, which frankly put those markers of success and all that sort of thing in entirely the wrong fucking place as far as I'm concerned. This is something so much stronger that you have to bring to bear, Leo. And nothing lasts forever. The good times don't last forever, and the bad times don't last forever too, either. We've got the King of Pentacles here. And I think perhaps you've been worrying about the way that things look to other people on the outside. It's none of their fucking business. I can't believe how closely this is dovetailing to, my particular situation. But as a collective energy, don't worry about what other people think. Don't worry about what other people see, because the chances are that you're potentially misinterpreting it at this point anyway. Remember who you are. Remember that things do not define you, and remember that this too shall pass. I cannot tell you how many times, particularly when the twins were babies, just kind of like almost mentally chanting to myself, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. When I was managing on about 2 hours sleep a night for a year. It's like, this will be all over soon. It's fine. They'll get to a point where they sleep through the night at some point, And at every other point in my life where things have been going a bit fucking pear-shaped, it's like, there's a clearing of the decks going on here, and you need to maintain your bearing with it, no matter what. So when we come into March, we have the Emperor. This is Aries energy. And I like this for you a lot, like not only because it's your sister fire sign of Aries, and that that neatly dovetails with Leo and Sagittarius energy anyway. It's good companion energy, but it's also a card of kind of getting your shit together. Now remember what we were talking about here about your thoughts having weight, but also the potential for there to be opportunities within that which has felt like it is very stuck and very trapped to you. Okay? The stuckness and the trappedness might be because of things that are ending, but they're ending in a way that you did not anticipate. No, or maybe they are ending in the way that you did anticipate and you didn't want that. This is about changing the framing of your perspective somewhat, and looking for the opportunities, looking for the ways in which you can reclaim your power in a situation, but not needing to, just being able to. You don't need to, because you have all the power in here, but you can, if you look hard enough, change the way that you think about this situation, look at it from a different perspective, and there's something quite powerful in there for you. When I was saying right at the beginning that it was quite interesting that the Emperor and the Empress were looking directly at each other, it's because they are obviously, they're given to be one of the power couples of the tarot. And I say one of them because for me, actually, I think the High Priestess and the Magician are a stronger power couple. But there's an interdependence here. With these two that there actually isn't with the Magician and the Hierophant, right? It's the divine feminine, the divine masculine, if you will, at least one of them, anyway. But whereas with the Empress, everything is very internal, with the Emperor, everything becomes external. It's very active. It's that which you can see, whereas the Empress is usually gestating a child that is not visible in any way. There's a bump, but you can't see what's in there, right? The Emperor is all about everything that goes on outside of that. We have the Ten of Wands and we have the Page of Wands, and I like this because in the minor arcana, all the suits, they run from Ace to 10, right? And then on top of that, you have the court hierarchy. So there's a cycle from the Ace to the 10, and there's a cycle from the Page to the King, but there's also a cycle that encapsulates both of those. So it runs from the Ace to the King, right? What you've got here is progression, for sure, because you've got what is a very, very difficult situation, a burdensome situation to you, which is suddenly in some way released, gives you release, right? This is sometimes a card of doing things the wrong way around, doing things the hard way. Leos are fucking renowned for that, right? But tens are completion. It speaks about an end. So where you are burdened, that burden becoming released. And notice how we go from, the top of that minor suit there to the beginning of another one here. But it's progression because it's potential for it to be included in the both of them, right? The Page of Wands has put down 9 of those ones that he does not need, and he's looking at the budding here on this one again. This is fucking mint. This is direction that I can go in here. I want to say this is a card of doing things the wrong way around. I mean, or doing things the hard way. I mean, like, what the fuck way is that to carry a load of fucking wands? Really? I mean, it's stupid. Does he need 10 wands? Does he need them all right now? If he did, could he not have carried them in a better way? You know, maybe bind them up and put them under his arm or something? Could he have not like stashed 5 of them under a bush and come back with a friend? I mean, he's really very close to what we assume is his home here. It's time to release some stuff, Leo. And it's time to start focusing on one wand there. So that's the Ace of Wands. Now, you are the King of Wands, and you know, if there was going to be great, big, huge, dramatic changes, we would expect to see the King, right? Or great, big, huge, dramatic changes instigated by you. We would expect to see the King, because that's the pinnacle of the active energy of this Sue, right? But you've got a page. It's starting small, but it's got great potential. He's still got the fucking Ace of Wands in his hand there. So putting down 9 of those ones and going, this is the one, this one here, this one looks really good. I'm going to take this one. This one's about to bud into something really useful. Like this. We have got the 10 of Pentacles. And whatever that was. And the Death card again. Page of Wands, please. Ooh, and the Knight of Wands. Okay, so we've got the 9 of Swords at the bottom of the deck again. What's behind this? 2 of Cups. Okay. The stability is coming, Leo. It is coming, but you need to be able to be relatively flexible, because I don't think it's coming in the way that you anticipated. Right? This 10 of Pentacles is a really, really good card, and it's a card of, you know, investment, you know, and see it as business or houses or things like that. But ultimately, it is stability. It is that which you have invested, then putting you in a state where you can maintain that, right? But it's followed by the Death card, which is interesting, because in some ways that 10 of Pentacles feels like an expectation, right? These are your expectations. This is what you are trying to bring towards yourself. Here with this Death card, we have a complete transformation of that in some way. And I feel like it's your expectations transformed. And maybe it is because you've been thinking too small about something. That's possible. Maybe it is because you've been feeling really powerless in a situation and you didn't actually realize that you hold all of the power. Maybe it's because you were a little bit too mindful of what other people were thinking, that you just completely missed all of the other directions that you could go off in. Either way, this Scorpio card of Death is all about a huge transformation in this here. And then we have the Knight of Wands, Sagittarius energy. But again, beautiful progress coming on. This is a precursor to movement. This is examining the wand and going, this is the one, this is the wand that I want, this is the one that holds the potential for me, right? This is my Ace of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is the movement. That's where it starts coming, that's where it starts shifting, but it's all coming off the back of you sorting your shit out and being, all right, actually, okay, I am really powerful in this situation, I can do some things, I'm going to do some things. And it's completely separate from the way that it is perceived by other people. Yeah, it's nothing to do. It's not even a consideration. Now there was a card that fell out to the right while I was pulling those cards here, and it's the 5 of Cups. Now that is a card of loss. It's a card of actually focusing on the loss more than anything else, and it is quite unstable. Being a Cups card, it talks about emotions. I think that if you were to hang on too hard to your expectations, Leo, I think that 5 of Cups is something that could be open to you as a result. Right, this equals this. But if you are mindful of your thoughts, and if you are mindful of any attachments that you have to a particular outcome, and you can be a little bit more fluid, then I think that what you have is here. You have an escalating situation that changes very, very quickly and goes from incredibly burdensome to incredibly exciting, right? Opportunities are rising for you. But you need to get your internal house in order first, you know? So I'm going to go over to Vimeo now. If this has resonated with you at all and you would like to go a little bit deeper, you can join me over there. The link is in the description box. If not, not to worry. Just remember what I said, you know, because I think that this is quite an important month for you, and it is the way that you show up to it that is important. It's not about the thing itself, it's about the way that you show up. So, like I said, I hope that this was helpful. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.